Now, I've got Rob Fort with me. We've seen Rob already in this series, but he's just been to the Chathams kayak fishing. So I thought, here we are, it's blowing like stink. Let's talk kayak fishing on the Chathams. And he has some great footage to share with us. So Rob, the Chatham Islands, what made you want to take a kayak to the Chathams?
Well, Graeme, it all comes down to my sort of mission that I've had in the last couple of years with myself doing filming and things as well. And I've been trying to achieve all these firsts. Last year it was the Three Kings. This year, the Chathams. I mean, when I think about places where nobody's been before, that now, certainly is one of them.
Geographically, you know, I've always imagined it to be an incredibly bleak, barren place because I look at the weather forecasts and think, man, you've got to be pretty sturdy to live there. So what's it like?
Yeah, it's pretty wild and rugged, but, you know, there is good weather out there. I mean, if you go at the right time of the year, January, February, March, April, are good times, you know, out there. And I mean, you go to a place like that and you've got to expect sometimes to get a run of bad weather, but it's not always like that.
Okay, kayak fishing in the Chathams, what did the locals think?
Nuts. They basically thought we were absolutely crazy. We all know about the reputation for white pointers out at the Chathams, you know, and they are there. And I talk to a lot of divers out there too. You know, being a free diver myself, I took my dive gear and with the intention of going and having a look. And there were stories of white pointers the size of buses.
Now, Rob, what about the fishing side, the kayak fishing? What are the species available? And how much area can you access?
There's unlimited opportunities. As it's an island, you've got so many different areas. No matter what the wind's doing, there is a place to go. You know, we were quite lucky in Port Hutt. It's quite a sheltered little harbour, and look, we thought, oh, all we looked at was out of the harbour and where we can go from there. But in actual fact, the first day that we got out, the first day we were there, it was windy. We set up the kayaks. One drift across the harbour produced 20 blue cod, terraki, gurnard, and blue moki. You know, it's quite interesting what you can actually get out there, but the blue cod fishery out there is phenomenal. This is a nice cod. Here we go, and it's trying to get away. Very nice cod. Look at this guy. She's a stunner. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh man, it's going ballistic. Look I got my personal best cod out there. Look at that. And yeah, I was pretty blown away by the sort of stuff they were eating. You know, a lot of people that go out the Chathams fish heavy line, bait, you don't need it. Honestly, I went with lures, soft baits, all that kind of stuff we use on the mainland normally to have a lot of fun, and I had a blast on the fish, man.
So reasonably light tackle?
Light tackle, yeah. Like we use soft bait rods to catch the cod. And
yeah, but what size? What's a big blue cod over there?
Oh, I mean, look, 3-4 kilos.
Okay, that's
you know,
big.
That's a good blue cod.
Look at that. Okay, so Chatham's great fishing, obviously. What else can you do?
You can go diving there, but you can also do the touristy stuff. There's a lot of history on the Chathams. You could almost imagine the early settlers coming in their rowboats and battling with the waves as they came through to land on the beach. You know, it's that kind of place. It's certainly a kind of place you can live off the land. You know, there's hunting there as well. There's a great opportunities for hunting.
And power and craze are the stuff of legend.
Power like you would not believe. And this is definitely one thing that New Zealand would have had years ago. You could walk down and literally get yourself a feed of power without even getting wet.
Welcome back to the Chatham Islands, a place that we are planning to visit in 2014. As I look at these images, I am captivated by the wild, rugged beauty and the incredible abundance.
Look at that. And he got off.
Great fishing and diving, breathtaking geography, a rich history. Yes, the Chatham Islands has it all. Now, Rob, two things I'm interested in. Land-based fishing on the Chathams and diving. So what options are available for land-based anglers and for divers?
As far as the diving goes, there's huge amounts of opportunity out there. There's guys out there that can help you out, take you diving, even take you shark diving for great whites. I didn't get to do that, unfortunately. I wanted to, and it was on the cards, but because of the weather, we couldn't get out to where they were. So that's another thing on my bucket list yet to be filled. But there is people there that can cater for your diving. There's plenty of divers on the island. The water visibility is quite good. You know, I got in and there was a good 8-10 metres in quite a few places I went. And, you know, we had wind on various days, but it didn't matter where we went. We went to other places and we found power and fish life and somewhere to get in.
And crays.
And crays. We did find some crays there as well. When we were there, the crays were out of season. And this is another thing I love about the locals there. They have a self-imposing where they don't fish the crayfish for 2 months of the year. Fantastic, mate. You know, we could all learn from that. And their stocks are just mind-blowing over there. Also with the diving, one of the things I noticed was the locals showed me a rock that was there. Now, it was quite mind-blowing because this rock was just absolutely loaded with power. Now, these power weren't legal. They were actually undersized, but they'd grow and round because they couldn't grow
in shape
normal.
they were round.
Yeah, they were in shape. They were actually round instead of their normal sort of oblong shape. So hence why they couldn't get to legal size, because they were basically trying to fill out every little space. I mean, if you took one of these power off that rock, within a couple of seconds, the others would fill the gap. You know what I mean? It was crammed. It was nuts.
All right, mate, land-based fishing.
One of the other things I noticed when I was in the water diving was the moki there at the Chathams are amazing. Look, we're talking 20-pound fish swimming around in the shallows, and for the land-based guys, I know they would just be buzzing over that. So there's huge opportunities right on shore, you know, and even the blue cod. I saw like 3-kilo blue cod right close to the rocks in 3 metres of water and stuff like that. So,
Come on, team, get on the plane.
yeah, get out there,
Go to
you
the
know.
Chathams.
I reckon there's not enough land-based utilisation out there. I know people went out there, got to know a couple of locals. They could certainly do really well on the land-based side of things out there. So,
And maybe
yeah.
do a bit of exploration on your own.
And while they're waiting for a bite, they could grab a feed of powers. It's that simple.
We are going. We might even go in February. My father built the radio mast out there in 1960, and I can remember him coming back from the Chathams on a Sunderland flying boat and walking into the house with a crayfish in each hand, and they were so big their tails were on the ground, and I would have been 4 or 5 years old at max, less probably. So the Chathams, I've got to go to the Chathams, and maybe so should you. So get in touch with Rob if you want more information, and if you want to use a kayak, talk to him.